What's shaking, people? It's your boy Doom Killer HD. Sit back and relax. You are now rocking with the best. And welcome to another segment of Fire or Trash, where we take your favorite YouTube or Twitch streamer, content creator, and ask them a series of questions really fast. The only thing they can answer is fire or trash. Fire or trash, fire or trash. The only thing you can answer to the questions I ask. Fire or trash, fire or trash. The only thing you can answer to the questions I ask. Fire or is it trash? Fire or trash.
What digging, people? It's your boy Doom Killer HD. Back with another Marvel's review. I've got two awesome co-hosts with me today. I've got Sadot the Gamer. Say hello to the people, Sadot.
Hello, salutations. What it do? Stop the Gamer, all father, the do-rag gang. You know the vibes. Like and subscribe. Let's get it.
And we have the lovely Miss Alien Fodder, aka Alien Fire. Say hello to the people, Alien.
Hello, guys. How are ya?
Well, guys, we are reviewing Hawkeye episodes 1 and 2, the Disney Plus series. And it's going to be some craziness going on because you know Sadot's got the greatest hot takes, and we get to hear Alien's expertise on, or non-expertise, if we should say, on some of these characters and her feelings on thoughts and things like that. So, with all that said, let's get right to it. First, make sure you Hulk smash that like button, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell. That way you never miss an upload or when we are live. So, guys, first and foremost, did you enjoy Hawkeye episodes 1 and 2? We'll start with you, Sadot.
So here's what happened. I'm watching the episode. It's 5:00 in the morning, and I get through both of them, and I'm like, okay, and then I look up and see that there's only going to be like 6 episodes this season, and next week is the halfway point, and I'm like, like the show, like the episodes weren't bad. There's definitely some very good stuff that they did well, but I feel like it would have been really good if instead of 2 episodes we got 1 hour-long episode, because I think you can cut out a ton of stuff from both episodes that were completely unnecessary and added really nothing to the plot, and just condensed it and to give it more focus and direction. Because the 2 episodes, it was basically like, if it was like a 10 episode season, these would be pretty okay. You know, he's like, okay, we're introduced to the players, we're learning kind of, you know, who everybody is, where everybody's at. That's cool, and then we'll learn, you know, who's who as it goes along. But now next week we're at the halfway mark of the entire season, and they have like 4 potential villains at least. Yeah, and the story so far has no stakes. There's no real clear direction or threat. It feels like they made the show because they just really wanted Kate Bishop to come in and replace Hawkeye when he retires, but the why, the reason, they haven't really got into that. And I feel like the show is kind of floundering at some points to give both characters something to do and a reason to actually be together, because since they're borrowing heavy from Fraction's Hawkeye run, it would have been amazing as a deconstruction of the Hawkeye character, but because of who he is in the MCU, all of that is already over. He's a completely different person than he was in Fraction's run. And Kate's story by itself would have been fine, but based on how they've written her so far, I don't think it would have been terribly interesting without Hawkeye to justify it even, you know, being a thing. So I feel like they just ended up like, all right, we'll put them together, and and they'll be better than some of his parts. And there's evidence that could work, but so far feels like the editing really is hampering the potential of the series so far.
Okay.
Wow. What's there to say?
That's not a hot take. That's a real take, right?
Yeah, it is. I agree that pacing was a bit off, especially during the second episode. There was a lot of fillers, particularly. Um, as for Hawkeye himself, I felt like the fact that they were trying to borrow both from the comics and from the MCU did him a big disservice. It's like pick one or the other, but don't try to incorporate both at the same time. As for Kate, I really liked her character. I thought Haley Steinfeld did a wonderful job, as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, that's about it. Like I'm looking forward to see more, but yeah, like 6 episodes is not a lot to actually delve into a story and bring it to a good conclusion. So
yeah, especially for introducing the character. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I enjoyed what they did with how they split up the time with the two, because I mean I was like, taking notes as I was watching, and it was like pretty much set up for me as my notes. I write Kate on one side and Clint on the other side.
Nerd.
And all I would literally had to do, I'm old and an old nerd at that, right? And an old nerd too. So I'm right, and it was just literally going back and forth for me. So I was actually cool with how they split up the time in the first episode. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought the introduction montage, the little her fight scenes and her training montage and her character is a lot more I could say comic accurate, because they didn't have anything from the MCU to pull from. So you know what I mean? I thought they did a good job with her. I didn't actually like the whole, like Alien said, splitting the two continuities. Okay, we've got this continuity from the comics and this continuity from the MCU with Clint. I think they should have just stuck in the MCU and it would have made more sense. But I mean, it was I enjoyed them. I mean, it wasn't the best opening episodes for the Disney Plus series yet. I mean, I think Falcon and Winter Soldier did a better job. I think Loki did a really, really, really good job of opening it up. But it wasn't bad. I enjoyed the fact that her inspiration came from Clint. How she was, sitting in the window as a kid, just watching him do his thing. I thought that was a great introduction to her character.
I'll be honest, I cried. I cried.
You cried, yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
It was just so beautiful. Like I love
the
what they did with that part of the story. Definitely, it was beautiful. Yeah.
What did you think about that opening scene? Let's just talk about that real quick. Where you can kind of see Dad was a little bit comic accurate, but they didn't play out off of it. You know what I mean? So you don't really know, and then you get to see her become the reasoning she became Kate Bishop, the Ultra Supreme.
Yeah. I thought probably the first 5 minutes of the show was the best of the entire 2 episodes. That entire sequence, bringing up Kate's family life, how her parents were interacting, and then we got to see, the Chitauri invasion from the citizens' perspective. We got to see Hawkeye, actually looking cool for once through someone else's eyes, and then I thought they did a really good job of grounding Kate Bishop's character, establishing her motivations, her trauma, and I actually thought that was preferred to the let's say a comic version of her trauma. We'll leave it at that. and then into that opening title credit sequence, which I thought stuffing the training montage as the intro was very clever, and I love how how they made all the imagery match the actual comic run that it was inspired by.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
very slick. It was kind of downhill after that though.
I don't know. I mean,
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't exciting. I say that much, but I mean, it was world building. You know, like in the world now, like with the last, especially with Eternals. You know what I mean? They really let it be known that okay, superheroes are here. This it's not a covert team. These are actual superheroes, and we have a lot of them. So I thought that was actually cool.
And I think that's kind of the problem though. Like this is a grounded series, but it's too grounded. I feel like, especially with everything we've seen so far in Phase 4, it's like the Eternals. Oh, you got celestials bigger than the planet, and these godly beings. You got Loki, the multiverse, and Kang the Conqueror, and the TVA who makes Infinity Stones look like a joke. Shang-Chi and the Legend of his 10 bracelets, and
boy.
and then you have Hawk, and then you get here. You have Hawkeye and the tracksuit gang, and I have to make it home for Christmas. Like,
I actually enjoyed that portion of it because, like, in the MCU for the longest, I mean, for the last 12 years, it's been not really comic-y accurate at all. I mean, it's supposed to be based off the Ultimate Universe, right? But it is. Yeah. It's its own thing, but now they're bringing the comic accuracy in, and he is a grounded hero. He's a street level hero. He's an Avenger,
which is
definitely a street level hero. So I'm gonna be real with you. I'm enjoying this portion of the MCU Phase 4 because Phase 4 has been huge, dude. It's been really like cosmic. You know what I mean? So
I don't mind down. Yeah, I don't mind that it's grounded. I mind that it's so grounded that you don't care what happens. Like they're like so far the first 2 episodes, you're not worried at all about either Kate's or Clint's safety at any point.
Right.
The sense of urgency for Clint is I have to make it home for Christmas. The sense of urgency for Kate is I really want Hawkeye to teach me some cool shit before he pieces out.
So the stakes are not high enough. Your taste.
No, and he's right. He's right. I'll definitely agree with him there. Yeah. But I mean, I think the stakes are about to get there. But we'll get to that point. We will definitely get to that point. Guys, let's get to this next segment, which is so far episodes 1 and 2. Who is your favorite character? Let's start with you, Miss Alien.
Favorite character. We haven't seen that many. I have to say Kate.
She literally made you cry. So yeah.
I know. Oh, you like baby Kate? Okay, you like baby Kate. Okay.
Baby Kate was the most adorable thing in the entire. Oh, and Lucky. I mean, who can forget Lucky?
I mean, he is the best boy. Yeah.
He is the best boy.
So yeah.
Okay, Kate, and what about Kate makes her your favorite character right now?
I just love her determination, her sense of I need to get to the bottom of this, and I'll do whatever I have to to find out what's going on. And she's like fearless. I love that about her, and her sense of humor is just
it's pretty funny.
It's fantastic.
What about you, Twin Dog? Who is your favorite character so far, if you have one, and why, or why not if you don't have one?
Honestly, for a while, none of the characters I really gave a shit about except for Lucky. Mm-hmm. But I actually, by the end of it, so far, I definitely think Duquesne is my favorite character so far.
Okay.
AKA swordsman.
Okay.
And why is Duquesne your favorite character so far?
I mean, first of all, that mustache is based.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. And secondly, he looks like he's going to be, obviously he has a lot of lore in the comics that they can draw from. He's a very cool villain, but in his portrayal so far, he's very cool. I like villains that are subtle. like you don't exactly, especially when they're building up, you don't actually know where he stands. He's not he could be, but he's not literally a mustache twirling bad guy with transparent motivations. He's really suave. He's charismatic. He almost makes you think that he could be on your side, but he also gives you a hint of the danger. Like when he just completely casually parries Kate and disarms her without even looking. When she tries to sneak attack him and test him.
that was actually fire right there. That was actually fire.
I think he's going to be. I'm just looking forward to him being like a really cool villain. I hope they don't mess him up like in future episodes, because it seems like he's going to be really interesting and compelling to watch.
That fight was predictable though, wasn't it? Like it was just
it was, but the way it was see, that's the thing about that fight that really stood out to me, because it was predictable. You knew he was a monster. He's got all of these swords around, and the way he's doing, he's like, you got me. You know what I mean? It was hilarious at the same time. So you're like, oh, he's about to mess her up real quick, and when he didn't, you're like, wait.
He waited 3 playing around. That's another thing. It took 3 times before, and then and then after the 3rd time he just dropped the sword, like, okay, yeah, it's cool, we're done. Yeah. And then Kate's like, then he gives you the flash. I'm like, oh no, yeah.
that part made it so cool is because she was trying to play his emotions the whole time, and who ended up pissed off? Who ended up walking out?
She did.
Yeah.
So that made that, to me, that scene was the most predictable, but best predictable scene that I could have asked for in that whole little montage of things. You know what I mean? Because he played her while she was trying to play him. She looked like the bad guy. He lied. He straight lied and said, "Yeah, I lied. Ha ha ha." And Mom was mad at her, not him. See what I mean? So that was really good writing, I think. I mean, I know you got the whole writing background down. So did you think that was good writing, boss?
Yeah, that's what we call in the business subverting audience expectations. The obvious thing would have been for the fight to start, and he would just be toying with her and just casually, just kind of showing her off until she gets mad, and then maybe the mom says, "Okay, that's enough." But because they played on the knowledge of the comic book readers who knew who he was, you're like, "Oh yeah, here it is." Yeah, he's about to show her. And then he did the first time. You're like, okay, so he's warming up. Okay, the second time, okay, maybe this 3rd time, okay, is he were you going to get it? And then she attacks him, and it's like, oh, there it is.
That was actually fine. I think so too. Your least favorite character and why? We'll start with you, Alien.
I didn't even.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I never gave my favorite character.
Yeah,
yes,
you did.
Please.
Come on,
I surely didn't. I'm so used to hosting and yada yada. I apologize about that. Y'all gonna be mad at me, but I'm going to say Hawkeye. Still, I love Clint. He's a cool cat. I thought that they really played well on his MCU background. You know what I mean? The fact that how he got so emotional behind Natasha. You know what I mean? He was like, he's sitting in there and he's watching and he's having fun at first. Not really fun, but he's kind of like snorkeling at him like, oh my God, this is really happening right now. And then she dances. You know what I mean? And he's just like, fudge. Oh my God. Then they hit you with the, he's deaf. You know what I mean? Or, he's going deaf. He needs a hearing aid now. So I thought that little transition, that was powerful to me. You know what I mean? He had to go take a step outside. He's remembering everything that's going on. He can't breathe. He's like having a mini panic attack. And that just made me fall in love with Hawkeye, Cap, you know what I mean? No pause or whatever you want to call it. But it just made me fall in love with the character all over again. You know what I mean? I thought that was a real good. I mean, everything but after that was just like, really? Oh, okay. But I thought that little scene, it brought it home for me for Hawkeye.
Okay.
Why? Because he's Hawkeye. I'm a Hawkeye man in my Avengers game, of course, guys. Come on now. Your least favorite character and why? Alien. What would you say?
I would have to say the mother.
Oh.
I don't know. I didn't like the way she. It's like she was being played, but she like had no idea. She couldn't see the signs, and she felt really weak to me. I don't know. I guess it's
We'll get
part of the story, and
we'll get to the mom.
Okay.
That's a little down the line. We'll get there, but keep going. We understand.
You know that's the way she was dismissing everything that Kate was, bringing up about Duquesne and everything, and she's like, no, it's like, or when she told her that she told Kate that the plan is for you to work at Bishop Security and be happy there, and I'm like, don't do that. Just don't.
Don't do that. Sadot, your least favorite and why?
I would say so far, Kate.
Okay.
Grown up Kate.
Yeah.
And why?
Yeah, I feel like when they did a great job establishing Kate at the beginning, but problem is she was very young, and then we got to see her actual development for her most crucial development through a montage, which was cool. But then we were plopped into present day Kate, and I don't know. I thought she was, quite frankly, boring. She wasn't really charismatic. I know. Like I was never a huge fan of Kate. I do really enjoy her portrayal in Marvel's Avengers. I think she's incredibly cool and charming, charismatic in the Avengers. But in Hawkeye, so far, she's kind of bland. I felt like they were trying to struggle to kind of make her stand out as her own character and give her like kind of an identity. Like they were kind of felt like they were at some point throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. Like, oh, put on the red dress. No, I'm going to wear a black tuxedo instead. It's like, okay, that's a bit okay, that's a bit on the nose, but okay. I get it. She's not a girly girl. Cool, but that's like pretty cliche. But her character was just like, yeah, she's fine. She's going through the motions. She's Hawkeye, but it was like, it was really nothing that really stood out to me about her. Like her, I was missing out on her journey. Her arc. It felt like her arc is already over for the most part. The only thing right now is that she's trying to learn some more tricks from Clint, but her character arc was pretty much already finished in the first 5 minutes. It just pretty rushed, and now her finished product is like, she's a 22-year-old girl who is really good at martial arts and archery. She's a bit of a hothead, but nothing really stood out. Like I didn't really connect with her after she was already established and grown up. Like I didn't just sit there when she was in those martial arts tournament getting her ass kicked and getting back up and working harder. We didn't get to see. We missed kind of all that emotional payoff, and now it's just the end product was kind of like not particularly interesting to me. I was like, I know she's in the show because she has to be, but it's like they're trying to figure out what she's supposed to be doing. It felt at points, especially in episode 2, like she was kind of in the way. Like it was like this is Hawkeye's show right now, and then Kate literally drops in from the sky and as an unwanted guest and just gets captured immediately. Like,
okay, I'm gonna say I hear you there. I don't particularly agree with that hot take on it. I think Kate is actually really interesting to me. I think she is funny as hell. She's got spice, bro, and she looks like Kate Bishop from the comics, dude. Like there was one part when I wrote it down. I was like, gosh, she looks just like Kate Bishop right here. Oh no, I think they did a good job with casting. I don't know. I mean, but that's why I have you on here, Twin, because we don't always agree. You know what I mean? I like your hot takes, boss. Okay, so let me see. My least favorite character is probably your favorite character, which is Swordsman, and he's my least favorite character because he's so goddamn good. He's good. He's like really a good bad guy. He makes you hate him, but you still want to be like, I kind of want him back on the screen. He's so, he's like charismatic in an annoying way. Like he's like, touche, you little bastards. I will
bit like Loki.
with my sword. You know what I mean? Like I like it. He kind of reminds me of what Tony Masters, Sportsmaster, should have been in the MCU. Like, dude would have been a great sportsmaster, you know what I mean? But let's see him as the swordsman, you know what I mean? So I don't like him because he's an anus. Yeah. He's you know what I mean? But I think he's a great actor. His character is awesome, but he's my least favorite character because he's so good at being bad, if that makes sense.
So interesting way to do it. Okay.
Yeah, I like him though. I like him. Real quick, guys, we are going into a segment where I did not let you guys know what we are going to be talking about. And the first thing that is comic inaccuracies. So the first comic inaccuracy I noticed was in the very beginning when they killed off Kate's dad. Kate's dad is not dead in the comics. He's just a not so good guy. So what's your hot takes on that portion of the comic inaccuracies? We'll start with you, Alien.
You mean if I noticed any inaccuracies?
No, we're talking about that specific comic inaccuracy. Your hot take on that. Does it bother you, or is it okay that they went this route, or would you rather have them kept it more comic accurate?
Since Kate's dad doesn't strike me as that important anyway, I don't mind.
Oh, well, you're not really familiar on the comics as Kate Bishop.
No, I guess.
Okay. Your hot take on this one, my dude, Mr. Sadot, the gamer.
Well, I thought I thought it was an interesting decision because of who I think the mom is going to be.
Right.
We get to that later, but in the context of the series, I thought with the direction they were going in, it made sense giving the relationship between a mother and a daughter. I felt like for what they were trying to tell, young rebellious Kate Bishop, it made more sense to have kind of the bad cop being the one that raised her rather than the father who they had a really great relationship with. Plus, they would have had to bring in Duquesne a different way.
Right.
Not the father's fiance.
Well, I actually liked, like you said, I liked what they did with that comic inaccuracy. At first, I was like, when they first killed him off, I was like, what are they doing? That's like her whole story right there. That's the reason, why she became a young Avenger or whatnot. So why are they? But then when they introduced dude later on, and I was like, oh, they're gonna make him. Oh, is that who that is? Oh crap! Okay, I like that. So yeah, I thought that for us as comic inaccuracies, it was a really good one. So okay, so moving on to the next one, which is comic accuracies. One of the first ones that I'm not gonna say the first ones that I noticed, but the one that stuck out the most was the one that made me really get right back into Hawkeye, was him going deaf, like in the comics, losing his hearing. I thought, especially with how they did it with the late morning of Widow, you know what I mean, and how it was contextualized and visualized and brought to life. I thought that was like so A1. Your hot take on that, Sadot?
I actually did not like how they introduced Hawkeye's deafness. Or
you didn't? I thought it was good, but go ahead.
I felt, and I think that's part of the problem with the series, the tone. is pretty off. Like it's kind of too holiday Christmas movie. Like everything's a joke. Nothing's really serious. I felt like they treated Hawkeye's hearing loss as like kind of a throwaway. Apart from the one scene when they're at the Broadway show and he sees Black Widow and he's and he those emotions come back and they kind of use the deafness to enhance the scene. But in the way they handled it, it felt just like an add-on they just threw in there, rather than in the comics where I felt like it was naturally a part of this deconstructed look at Hawkeye. He's a guy who's divorced. His hearing is starting to fail him. It's all part of this kind of spiral from this, once great hero. Whereas Heroes is like, oh, by the way, he needs a hearing aid. Why?
Okay.
Why? Oh, well, he was involved in some explosions. We don't know when.
Not some explosions.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He has a hearing aid now.
Oh gosh.
But at least he introduced it.
Yeah, I thought it was cool, but damn, said I.
Yeah.
Okay. Comedy. The comedy to you guys, was it a hit or a miss? Oh, we can do fire or trash for the comedy because that's kind of linear. You know what I mean? It's either was or wasn't. So fire or trash for the comedy, and you guys can answer in the chat too on that one. Did you guys like the comedy? Was it fire or trash? We'll start with you, Miss Alien Fire.
Fire.
Okay, cool.
That's
You like
fire.
it? Yeah, don't go any too further
There's no
into
middle
it.
ground, so I have to say fire because I can't say trash. There were some good moments.
And you, Sadot?
Fire, mostly because the Phase 4 humor has been dog shit.
I thought Shang-Chi had some funny moments. Then he did have a lot of fun. Never mind. Anyway,
Wong was funny. Everyone else was not.
Bad.
No one else was funny.
The Rogers musical. Oh my gosh, dude! I actually chuckled out loud during some of the scenes in the Rogers musical.
It was pretty good.
Did you guys like the Rogers musical? Was the Rogers musical fire or trash, brother?
Yeah, I love how they apparently they expanded on it more than they originally planned because of how good it was turning out. So definitely fire. When I saw Hulk run on stage with a green hoodie, I was like, oh my god.
Ant-Man, that guy was not there. I was just like, bro. Alien, did you love the Rogers musical, or was it not something on your radar?
I mean, it was funny, but so cringy. So
yeah, that's what made it
so
funny.
Cringy. I mean, that's like the cringiest thing I've ever seen in Marvel.
I think that was the point, though.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I literally was like, I chuckled out loud, bro. I was just like, are they serious right now? It was pretty funny.
It was fun watching Hawkeye squirm in his. So that was, yeah.
The LARP, guys. The LARP. The live action role play.
Okay, it was trash. I'm sorry. The guy. All right, so the guy doing the sword sound effects was objectively hilarious, but
Why did you not laugh, dude?
That was funny. But that entire scene could have been cut. It was not necessary at all to the show.
Dude, the part when they did the slow-mo, I was like, it was so cringy, but I was crying laughing at the same time. I'm not gonna lie. It was just like, I'm just like, come on, they really just did Braveheart in okay. That's what we're doing in Phase 4 now. We're doing Braveheart. Let's go. The LARP for you, Miss Alien. What did you think about that?
Trash. I mean, it could have been avoided altogether, or like, no, it was just too long. First of all, it just
way too long.
Yeah,
I think they drug it out purposely. You know what I mean? I was just like, God, please stop now. And he was like, no, you have to face me in trial by combat. I'm just like, bro, He was like, "Please kill me now, kill me now." You know?
Yeah, that's why I say this show has an editing problem.
Yeah, it did. Okay, let's get into Clint being recognized as a hero just everywhere he goes. Probably one of the most least recognizable Avengers is literally a superstar. Like he can't go anywhere without people wanting him to sign stuff and things like that. How do you guys like that lore in the MCU? Do you guys like it there where, you know, the heroes are actually known as heroes, or would you rather it still kind of be like the 2008 when it's Iron Man flying around and people are still freaked out?
I think it was definitely it's realistic. Like at this point, with everything the MCU has gone through, it would be weird if, you know, people were running around and didn't know who these people were, especially the core. Like that's why it was so cringe in Falcon and Winter Soldier when that cop didn't know who either Sam or Bucky was. It was like, okay, you just really wanted to just force this racist scene in here. Like literally none of them recognized Falcon or freaking the Winter Soldier, who was the most wanted man on the entire planet.
Right. Right. Like, yeah, we don't have to go into that. You're right, though. You're right.
I love how Hawkeye like handled it. Like this is exactly how I feel like his character would handle it. Like it makes him very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he played the hell out of himself on that one. Like I like that. You're right. Your thoughts, Miss Alien Fire?
I thought it made sense. I mean, obviously, after everything that's happened with the Avengers, the way they practically saved the world, it wouldn't make sense that he's not being recognized, even though he may not be as popular or well known as the others. So yeah, I thought it was well done, and his reaction was it was like, leave me alone. I'm doing my job. Thank you, but no. And I think that was well done.
Okay. All right. Well, I have a question morely for you, Sadot, because you have the comic expertise on this particular subject. Is Mom a bad guy? And if so, which bad guy do you think Mom is?
Yes, and she's Madam Mass.
Okay. All right.
She is Madam Mass. It made perfect sense, you know. Because I already see how they're setting this up, because right now we think that they're making it make it look too obvious that Duquesne murdered his uncle for the inheritance. But Kate's mom was arguing with him too, and they're making it seem like, oh, she's just kind of oblivious, even though she's the head of this massive security company, and and there just happened to be a black market auction nearby, and Duquesne just happened to be there with his uncle, and we don't know who was running the auction, but the mom was so quick to dismiss the whole thing and not ask him any questions. It's like she's clearly Madam S. She clearly set up that black market auction, and I think
Sadot, let me cut you because I want to hear your thoughts on this real quick. So after watching it, and I watched the second episode twice, because when she argued with dude, notice how she didn't know Kate was coming. Like, look at her demeanor until she saw Kate. And then it made me think. I was like, dude, she was arguing with Dad right before the invasion happened, right? And then Kate couldn't find them anywhere when the invasion was happening, when the Chitauri was blowing everything up, right? She couldn't find them for 10 minutes. Yeah. And that's how she got to the window. She was like, where's everybody at? Dude, what if Madam Mass killed Dad so she can get that loot? You know what I mean? So, because remember, they were going through financial problems, and she was like, I know how to fix this. You're causing us issues. So I was like, dude, she killed him. She killed him.
Very much.
Okay, so you agree? You in agreement?
I think it's very possible, because the father was supposed to be in his study or whatever,
right?
And then we didn't hear from them for a while. Then that's when everything started going crazy. I don't know. It's very possible that she didn't, because I felt like there wasn't really a lot of build up to, they were arguing about it, but it didn't feel like a moment. If she was a cold-blooded killer, I felt like she would have killed him before. But
listen to me.
If it was it's possible that the T'Chari plus the T'Chari thing happened pretty quickly. So it's possible that the father may have been injured badly by the T'Chari attack, and she looked at him like, I think I'll leave him here.
But that's killing them to me. You know, that's how I feel like killing them.
It's not,
that came to my head too.
It's not first degree.
No. It's third degree, definitely.
Yeah.
But the part that stuck out the most was Kate asked about her dad. Where's daddy at? And mom didn't answer. She didn't say, oh, he's coming, or he'll be right behind us, or anything. She was like, we need to go, baby. We need to get ourselves out of here. Making me think that she knew something. Whether or not she actually, pulled the trigger, or, stabbed him, or did whatnot, I'm not gonna say, but I will say some third degree murder might have happened. Some third degree murder might have happened.
It's definitely
Yep.
She's definitely a villain now. I definitely think
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay, so we're at what, 40 minutes? That's about good timing. Okay. What is the stepdad hiding? We already know he stole the sword from the Ronin sword. And we already know that we know as comic book people know that he's sword master. But the general public, a lot of people did not know that. And when I was reading on Twitter last night, people was like, what is going on with the dad? So I'm gonna ask you guys, what is stepdad hiding? We'll start with you, Alien Fodder, because I know you aren't so versed in the comics, so you're just watching it as a somebody watching the TV show. What do you think that stepdad is hiding?
That is an excellent question. I haven't had time to process all that. Something extremely sinister. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to get the point of view of somebody who doesn't know anything. Not gonna say anything about.
No. But I don't know enough about that particular character to actually form an opinion on what he may or may not be hiding. Well, he is hiding something for sure, but
right. Gotcha.
So what do you think of that?
Twin, yeah. What do you got? I know you got a whole hot take on this one.
Yeah, there you go.
I think he's hiding two big things. I think he's hiding his relationship with Hawkeye from previous years, and I think he's hiding the fact that he knows the mom is Madame Mask.
Oh, you think he knows already?
I think he's with her precisely because he knows who she is, and I think his uncle was in the way.
Okay, well, not hot take. Quick question to both of you: Who killed Uncle Armand? Was it Madame Mask or the swordsman?
I think it was her.
I think it was them. But
I think it's too obvious that it's him.
I think that's a perfect take right there, because Alien doesn't know the background of Madame Mask and Swordsman, and you do. So you thinking, okay, that's a good chat. Let me know, who do you guys think killed Uncle Armand? Was it Swordsman or Madame Mask?
Because as a writer, I think it's too obvious. I know writers do this all the time. Whenever there's some kind of mystery, they'll throw out the most obvious thing first to try to trick you, and just so they can pull the rug out from under you later on. Like it's very obvious if you just look at it and don't think too deeply that he killed his uncle, because he gained an inheritance. They had this little tense moment where he tried to bid on the Ronin gear, and uncle was like, you don't have that money, put your hand down. It's my money, you know. And obviously, you know, he has a fascination with swords. Kate saw the clue about the hard candy. So it's like, okay, well, it's so obvious that it has to be him that it can't be him.
Yeah, you got that writing background. I mean, you know, that production background. So you would have the best hot take on that one, bro. As far as me, to be right now, I mean, it does seem obvious it's Swordsman, right? And so you got to go with the not obvious because of the way they're writing things. You know what I mean? The way they're writing in this show is not your typical, you know, everyday slash and grab type of writing. You know what I mean? Like, just you can tell that by the scene with Kate and Swordsman fighting. You know what I mean? How he was just like, got you. You know what I mean? Like that. So it's not regular writing. So I'm gonna actually I'm gonna actually side with Sadot on this one and say, Mom at least ordered the kill, as cute little Chaos Kitty said. You know what I mean? Huh? That's crazy. All right. Let's talk this real quick. The Echo cliffhanger. Now, for those who don't know, do you want to explain who Echo is, or you want me to do it?
It's pretty simple. She's Kingpin's daughter. Right. She's also in the comics a character who has photogenic reflexes, which would mean potentially the MCU has 2 female Taskmasters.
Yeah.
Except one's deaf. One's deaf. I was about to say one's deaf, the other's mute.
She's also the second Ronin in the comics. My first introduction to Echo was as Ronin in the New Avengers comics. And I thought it was Hawkeye. Like I had, you know, I had read that Hawkeye had, you know, Kate Bishop became Hawkeye and Hawkeye became Ronin. And so I'm reading the New Avengers comic, and this is like my first time reading it. And when she pulls off the mask, I was like, who the hell is that? And why is it not Hawkeye? So I did a whole I went and read the whole backstory on Echo. And dude, Echo is pretty dope. And I'm really glad that they're introducing her into the game, because that could be another potential member of the Thunderbolts as Ronin. So you would have, I guess, 2 Taskmasters on the same team, I guess. I don't know, you know what I mean? Unless they give her the sonic power instead of the photogenic reflex power. I don't know how they
Interesting.
I don't know. What do you think? How do you think they're going to keep the same powers, or you think they're going to probably switch them up because of the Taskmaster thing?
I think they're going to keep it, because I don't think we're ever going to see MCU Taskmaster ever again. I think that was a wrap. I think that's dead. I think that version of Taskmaster got the Kang treatment. She out of there.
Daredevil and Kingpin in Hawkeye the series.
Seems like at the very least, D'Onofrio's Kingpin is going to pop up.
Apparently, yeah.
At least at the end.
Apparently, he's left breadcrumbs on Twitter.
Yeah, he sees it, but if Echo's here, then we know he has to exist in the universe. So, and we've already had indicators that Murdoch is coming back. You know, they're going to bring back all of them.
His whole team, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, seems like it. I mean, the cliffhanger itself was like, you know, interesting. Fine.
If you know, to me, that wasn't the best cliffhanger, because it was like if you know cliffhanger.
And she's like she's a very deep cut, you know.
Right.
Like they tried, you know, by showing her feeling the music and the goon talking the sign language. But if you don't know who Echo is, you're like, okay, why is she important? But also, it's like, why is she here? because that's the sense of direction I was talking about. It's like there's so many villains potentially, you know, you have Duquesne the swordsman, you have potentially Madame Mask. Now they plop down Echo, which means that they could also be Kingpin, you know, the tracksuit gang. And then you still have Yelena, who was hired to kill Hawkeye.
And the mom, yeah. You're right.
It's like there's a lot of things, and then there's only three, and there's only
I was
three
about to
episodes left.
four episodes
Yeah,
left. Like,
four episodes left.
So yeah, let's talk about that. Upcoming episodes. What they've got to cram a lot into the next, I say, 2 episodes. Because right now, what is the plot of the story?
Hawkeye's got to get home for Christmas.
Right?
Yes.
But what is he's got the suit. I mean,
which I don't know why was that important. First of all, why was the suit so important, and why was the watch from the Avengers compound so important?
Yeah, that watch.
And where did it go? Because did Lucky grab it? Did Lucky grab it, or does the tracksuit mafia do still have it?
Unclear. They never bring it up again, despite the fact that they literally blew up a black market auction just to apparently get it instead of bidding on it. Which, I mean, since Echo is running the tracksuit mafia, she could have bid on it. I mean, she probably could have got it. She's rich, presumably, but
right, King. But you know what?
Did they think it was Tony Stark's? Like, it has some Iron Man tech in it. Why was it so important? And why was the suit so important? Like, that we had to have this whole drawn out thing just so he can get it back. Like, he could have grabbed the suit in Kate's apartment. The fire wasn't that bad, but then we had to go through this whole LARPing montage just so he could get the suit back and stuff it in the locker.
Right.
And how did he lose it in the first place?
Well, they explained that it was just in the wreckage of the compound when Thanos blew up the Avengers compound. So that was actually explained.
After the battle to save the world, where the compound of the Avengers was blown up, people were just able to scavenge the wreckage and auction off their shit.
That's what they were kind of showing with the fire department, that the morality with people isn't there. You know, there's not. It's not black. You know, it's actually black and white. People aren't going to be. It's a gray area, I should say. You know what I mean? Because like, dude wasn't a bad guy, but he literally stole evidence from a fire. The guy from the LARP, the firefighter dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? Was Grills or what? Is he somebody in the comics? I don't know who he is. And they said his name 3 or 4 times.
He's a character from the comics, but from that run of Matt Fractions, but he gets killed, so he's not a huge character, but he could probably. I mean, if they plan on bringing him back at some point, he is a character in the comic that is basically known for getting killed.
Damn. But no, I mean, they kind of showed that, because that's why Hawkeye even went to the LARP in the first place, because he knew that the firefighters wasn't being cool. They stole evidence. You know what I mean?
I feel like Hawkeye, if the Roman suit was so important, he would have got it after the battle.
Yeah, but what if he thought it was, destroyed or burnt up in the aftermath?
I mean, it kind of should have been, along with all of them. The little guy hit with a missile. The little guy blew a couple missiles, and everyone was just like, you all right? A little dirty, but we're fine. Like, we're good.
The reason why Hawkeye wanted that suit back was just to protect Kate. Right?
No, because he didn't know Kate when he went looking for the suit. When he went looking for the suit, he was like, remember, he grabs and he's like, what in the hell? Why are you behind the suit? So he was looking for the suit before time. Like, it was just more or less I guess he felt a kind of way. You know what I mean? Like, that's his past, that's his doing. Yeah. So anybody else, messing around with it, give me this back, because I don't want my, I know what I did in this suit and it wasn't okay. So I get that, but yeah, I think they dragged the suit thing out a little too long, and it was
because I thought there was something like in the suit, like is there like a weapon? Does he have the keys to the Avengers' new hideout there? Like, why does he need the suit back so badly? Why has he not thought of this suit this entire time until he saw it on TV?
All right. Well, yeah, like I said, he could have thought that was just destroyed, but I mean, and that, that also brings me back to Spider-Man. What was that? Far From Home? Not Far From Home. Yeah, whatever one it was. The first one, the first Spider-Man, Homecoming, where You had what's his name
Vulture.
selling. Yeah, the Vulture selling,
Yeah, they were
Tony
selling-
Stark stack and stuff from the first
Yes.
Avengers battle and whatnot, and Kree,
Yeah.
Kree, but Chitauri taking all of that stuff. So
Because the Chitauri tech, I mean, was all over New York. It was just all over the place. They had cleaning crews coming through there for months and months and months. This was the Avengers compound. You had everyone there. You had Stark's people. You had freaking wizards. You had wizards. You had the Wakandans.
right.
I feel like they could have cleaned up pretty thoroughly.
Yeah, I mean, you had Asgardians with super
Asgard.
strength, right? Yeah, you're right. I mean, plus you got Ant-Man who can literally shrink all of that stuff and move it. So anyway,
Good point.
Let's do final thoughts real quick on episodes 2 and what you hope to see in the episode 3 that's coming out next Wednesday. We'll start with you, Alien. Your final thoughts on the first 2 episodes. Was it fire or trash? The first 2 episodes.
I can't say trash, that's for sure. No, it was fire. I did enjoy it. Once again, I did enjoy what they did with Kate, even though Sadot didn't. They could have gone further into her character development, but there was no time. I mean, it's
6 episodes apparently.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very short season, and I think they did good with what they had. As for Hawkeye, well, it was just, I don't know. I never really liked MCU Hawkeye. I always thought it was just too serious and too, I don't know, moody, and that hasn't really changed. But we'll see. And for upcoming episode, well, I just want to see the mystery unfold and see who, like, it's an interesting whodunit in a sense. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay. You go ahead and run it down to him. Your final thoughts, Sadot, on episodes 1 and 2 and what you're looking forward to for episode 3.
Yeah, well, pretty much like I said in the beginning, I felt like they were definitely decent, but not terribly compelling or exciting because it's unclear exactly what the overarching point of all of this is, and there's no real clear antagonist so far. There's potentially 20 or something at this point, and I felt there was some issues, of course, with the editing. So I feel like overall it was decent for what it was, but it definitely could have been benefited a lot by some more attentive editing. There was a lot of filler, and I feel like mostly is not going to pay off. And I'm hoping, since there's so little time left, that they kind of solidify the series and up the stakes a bit, adjust the tone, because so far the entire episode was pretty much, apart from the first 5 minutes, completely one note. And I think that definitely needs to change going forward if they're gonna want us to actually care about what's going on. Because if every episode is just like, Kate and Clint, another wacky adventure where there's no threat whatsoever that they're going to get hurt, like, it's like, okay, what are we doing here?
Yeah, no, I hear you. Let me see my final thoughts. I enjoyed it. I say that much. It was something that I enjoyed. I'm looking forward to more explanation in episode 3. Like, kind of, okay, give me who I need to worry. Not even who I need to worry about as a bad guy. Just establish who villains. If it's multiple villains, establish that. Because right now there is no, aside from the tracksuit gang, even Echo isn't a villain. She's just some lady in a room right now that's saying we've got both of them. You know what I mean? So, like, just establish who's who, what's going to happen from there point out, so we can really follow the show. Because right now we're following Kate and Clint, but they don't even know what they're following. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. Because Clint is, I'm so concerned about this Ronin suit. Now I've got the Ronin suit. why am I playing catch and release with the tracksuit mafia? I thought it was done. I've got what I needed. Kate is cool. I can explain that to him or whatever, yada yada yada, and we can go. So hopefully they explain that in episode 3 so we can move forward. Get to the Yelenas, get to the Kingpins, you know what I mean, and rock it like that, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I think it has a potential of being an okay show. I don't think it's going to be great. I think that the shows that its predecessors are, to be honest with you, better. But it's an okay grounded show. It's an okay grounded show. I'm not hating on it at all. I like it. I will definitely be up at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning next Tuesday night, ready for the next one, man.
Forgot to give it props for one thing. This is what they at very least they seem to have not only respect for the characters but respect for the source material. I saw some comments on Twitter like, "Oh, is this going to be another show where the female character makes the male character look stupid?" Or, and it was the complete opposite. Like that was a pretty significant problem in Loki. I felt like they took the deconstructing angle too far and basically just tried to make Loki into a joke in what was supposed to be his own series, which turned out to be pretty much just an origin story for a completely different character.
For a different Loki, pretty much.
And a lot of people were disappointed by that, but I felt like they were very fair, very respectful in this. They didn't have, Kate slapping around the tracksuit mafia with one hand behind her back, because she's so awesome. She actually struggled, and Hawkeye actually had to help her out. So his presence isn't, completely redundant. Like they actually can benefit from each other. So I think they did a good job at the very least establishing that and drawing from the source material. They do have a lot of stuff that's comic accurate, and the stuff so far that they changed has actually changed for the better. So definitely could tell that these writers at least are familiar with the comics, whereas I felt like with some other Phase 4 projects, they don't really follow the comics or care particularly about the characters. This is just like a paycheck for them.
Well, yeah, they are at least trying. They're going in the right direction. I mean, the show may not be like the greatest thing ever, but what I've noticed about Phase 4, and I've got to give it props for, except for Black Widow, was its world building. Everything is literally, they're trying to take it from, oh my gosh, this is a giant alien in the sky, to, oh shoot, an alien's in the sky. Which heroes coming now? You know what I mean? They're looking for heroes and whatnot. So I'm finding that cool. Like in Eternals, that little one part with the little guy was like, "You're the Superman that was on TV. Shoot the laser beams out your eyes." You know what I mean? He wasn't freaked out. Like he was just like, "You're the dude that was doing that." He wasn't like, "You were doing that. How are you doing that?" He was like, "Oh, you got powers. That's cool." You know what I mean? I know you're that guy. So I'm really cool with the world building that's going on right now. You know what I mean? That's actually fire. Final thoughts for you, Alien, on this whole situation?
No, not really. Sorry, I'm just like, you guys said everything. What can I say?
Talk a lot.
I did. What'd you think of this rumor I heard? This fan theory that because you remember when they said that Avengers Tower was sold?
Yeah.
Do you think Kang bought it?
Somebody in the chat said Casual Avenger asked that Kang bought Avengers Tower. I was honestly hoping that it was Reed Richards and those guys, because we own not we, but Marvel owns Fantastic Four again. Yep. So I was thinking that they would turn that into the Baxter Building. So if Kang owns it, it would actually be comic accurate as well, because he does own it for a little while in the comics. So I don't know, brother. I don't know. What do you think? You think he bought it, or you think it may be a Fantastic Four type of thing?
I think it might be Kang, because we remember the Loki thing like did some things to the multiverse, so stuff may be different. Stuff might have changed without anyone noticing it, and we know
instantly too, huh?
Instantly, and now we know there are a bunch of Kangs now just all over.
Yeah.
Right, multiple, because they're doing the whole multiversal war. This is the beginning of the multiversal war at this point. Yeah. Oh wow, bro, you really broke that down with that one. Thank you. I hate when you give me goosebumps, but you do it every time, bro. Every time. Oh, guys, thank you for tuning in. This was actually pretty fun. This was our first and second episode review of Hawkeye, and it was a lot of mixed stuff going on here. I mean, we had some hot takes, we had some not takes, we had some pretty okay takes. So, I mean, overall, we all agree that the show is it's worth giving a look at for episode 3. We'll say that much. Let's give some shout outs to people in the chat. Shout out to the 2 moderators we have right now, which are Enrico and Bloody Reckless. A big shout out to cute little Chaos Kitty, who has been here since before the show started. Loud Cloud, TJ, Casual Avenger, B Waters, Mr. Marquise, and a host of other people. I can't really name all you guys. I greatly appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you so much. Any shout outs or anything before we get up out of here, guys?
Oh, I got nothing.
Do you have one, Sadot?
No, you say you got nothing. What you got?
Okay, all right. No,
you good too?
Yeah.
Okay, all righty.
Tune in next week.
Definitely tune in next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Laissez les bon temps rouler, which means
let the good times roll.
Yeah, you said it before I could say it. God dang it. Let the good times roll.
So I can't say it.
People.
I can't even.